All right, folks, we've done it. We are at the end of the Bach Preludes, and what a fitting end it is. Since we started this series, there's been a steady ramping up of difficulty from the easiest, I put that in quotes because nothing is actually easy, the C major prelude, and we've been slowly building up the difficulty, culminating not in this piece. I wouldn't say this is the hardest piece. I still think the G major and D major preludes are the hardest ones, but this is certainly the showiest by a fair amount, which I think makes for a very, very nice fitting end. So it is the showiest prelude in both scales and arpeggios, which is, well, kind of arpeggios. It's more like quasi-tremolos, which is very fitting for a work that is partly very pedagogical, that we end with very, very fast runs of scales and arpeggios. Something like that, not actually like that. However, I do want to talk a little bit about these quasi-arpeggios, quasi-tremolos, because it is the most interesting part of this piece. The big scale runs are just big scale runs. There's not much to say. But the technique required for the beginning, for these quasi-tremolos, quasi-trills, is the last time I'm going to say that phrase, I promise. Actually, no, probably won't. I'll probably say it again. It is pretty difficult, and I do not... I don't have it. Sometimes I pull it off, sometimes not. It really depends on how fast I take it, whether the stars align. But there is some things that I want to talk about there. And actually, this is another reason why it's a very fitting capstone to this series, because we've I mean, even though the G major and D major preludes are harder, the technique here is really, it's a bit beyond me, unfortunately. So it's a fitting end to talk about something that I probably should not be talking about. I'll say this again, I haven't said this enough. Every single one of these preludes, even though I've been playing them for like over a year, I'm just not tired of them. Every single one of these preludes, there is a moment where I just get goosebumps. Something happens, and I don't know, it hits me. The way Bob Marley said, when music hits you without feeling any pain. Every time I play one of these preludes, my goal is to make myself get that moment of goosebumps. So that's my one tip for the Well-Tempered Clavier. Let me summarize this entire series. Feel the pulse, feel the rhythm, try to give yourself goosebumps at least once every single one of these preludes, and just enjoy them. Yeah. What a terrible ending to this series. I should have written out something.